10,050 Cielo Drive, Los Angeles, California, August 15th, 1969. 6 days after the shocking murder of actress Sharon Tate and 4 others in her home, Tate's husband, film director Roman Polanski, arrives to tour the scene of the crime with a rather unusual investigator, a psychic detective named Peter Hurkos.
Hurkos was allowed to go to the scene of the Sharon Tate murders, and he picked up some interesting details that were not known at the time. He said that there were 3 murders, and he said that he saw a vision of someone in this house who had taken some bad LSD and visualized the devil. And that's interesting because Tex Watson, who was one of the killers, when he came into the house, he said, "I'm the devil and I'm here to do the devil's business."
When Hurkos got there, he kept getting the name Charlie. Charlie, 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 over and over and over again. And he was able to describe this man who was this force of destruction and wiry and dark, who was manipulating others. It's very interesting because that's exactly who was behind these murders.
Charlie, of course, turned out to be the notorious cult leader, Charles Manson, who was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. What ability did Peter Hurkos possess that allowed him to envision the mastermind behind this heinous crime?
In 1941, Peter Hurkos was doing a job painting a house, and he fell off his ladder, falling about 40 feet. And he had a brain injury and slipped into a coma. So when he woke out of the coma, he discovered that he had psychic abilities. And he discovered this almost immediately because he could sense things about the other patients in the same hospital room as him.
Is a traumatic injury the key to unlocking a sixth sense? While that may be the case for some seers, there are others who, like author Laura Lynn Jackson, believe they were born with these remarkable gifts.
So I'm a psychic and a medium. And being psychic means that I can read energy. It was before I even had language that I would feel and read energy around me. I'll see pictures, I'll see images, I'll see things that are symbols for me to understand. And then being a medium means that I'm able to connect with the consciousness of someone who's no longer in a physical body. Sometimes it can be in the voice of a loved one who's crossed. Sometimes it just arrives as a thought without much sound, where you just suddenly know something in every ounce of your being, but there's no logical way you could know it. It took me a very long time to fully embrace my abilities. And part of that journey for me was getting tested in every way possible.
This will be interesting for me too, because my readings for people usually go 60 to 90 minutes. And so usually the first 15 minutes of a reading, I'm just aligning my energy with the sitter's energy. I'm doing an aura reading. I'm seeing what they're like. It's almost like tuning into that frequency. And then it really starts. So I don't know how this is going to go. We're going to have to say.
In 2013, Laura participated in a fascinating experiment under the supervision of psychologist Dr. Jeffrey Tarrant.
I'm going to turn it over, look at it, and say go.
Okay.
All right? Go.
Yellow. Red.
The goal was to analyze Laura's brainwaves
Green.
to see what's really happening inside her head
Red.
when she taps into her intuitive abilities.
What we did was we took a 19-channel EEG cap, kind of looks like a swimming cap with sensors built into it. What it allows us to do is then compare her brain in different states. So what we're looking at in these images are a comparison of Laura Lynn Jackson's brain activity, comparing a conversation to a psychic reading. And really what you notice is this dramatic increase of activity in the back right quadrant. Here you see it starts to turn a little more white, which is an even greater increase. And so this is showing this strong increase, especially in these very fast brain waves during a psychic reading. Looking at the data, This clearly suggests that for her, a psychic reading and a regular conversation are distinct states of consciousness. They're different, and they don't look the same in the brain. So for me, the question becomes, why? This, to me, is the mystery right now.
At one point, you had 3 in a row.
Okay. Dr. Tarrant's brain scan experiment revealed a lot of very interesting information. When he looked at my brain in resting state to just get baseline, he asked me if I had ever had traumatic brain injury. Dr. Tarrant shared with me that my brain looked very similar to people who have had traumatic brain injury, and yet I've had no traumatic brain injury. It didn't really make sense to me. So I think the question really is there a possible physiological component to being able to access this sixth sense or these other abilities? And I think that there is.
Some people have these abilities unlocked after some sort of neurological incident or a traumatic brain injury, but then other folks, they're just born with these abilities. I think what this suggests is that whether it's through an injury or whether it's through some sort of practice of altered states or meditation, somehow we have to shift the brain out of its normal functioning.